Welcome back to Game on Hay. Another double-header today, and if you're just joining us, let's just remind you what the games are today in this World T20 that is enthralling us all. First of all, the game coming up in the shorter time is Afghanistan against Namibia. That'll be at 3 o'clock from Abu Dhabi, live on air here, of course, on PTV Sports. The second game of the day this evening will be coming from Dubai, India against New Zealand. That'll be live at 7 o'clock. Again, of course, live on PTV Sports. So those are the two games. They're both in the same group. So both these matches in Group 2. And the second one especially is likely to have an effect on which of these teams joins Pakistan in the semi-finals. If you look at the group table and the way it stands at the moment, Pakistan, of course, riding high. They're in great form. They've won those 3 matches and they have 6 points, and it's every chance, shall we say, that unless something extraordinary happens, as they only have Namibia and Scotland to play, they'll end up on 10 points. But if you look at the rest of the group, and if you want to assume, obviously we take nothing for granted in this tournament, that New Zealand and India will win their last 3 games each, that means that one of those 2 teams will be on 6 points at the end of it all. One of those 2 teams will be on 8 points. So the question is it going to be New Zealand? Is it going to be India? And we will find out in the course of the day. So, an important game, Sana. A mighty, mighty important game when you put it into that context.
Of course, and I guess huge pressure on both teams. Kane Williamson, one of the best captains in this format also, and even in the longer limited overs format. And then Virat Kohli, so much pressure on him, his last World Cup as a captain. So I think it's a lot is at stake for this, both these individuals and both these teams in this match.
Okay, before we talk about the individuals, before we talk about the key players, quick look at the head-to-head. Let's get rid of the head-to-head quickly and just show you what's going on between these 2 teams. Obviously, India's first game in the tournament, they were roundly beaten, soundly beaten by Pakistan by 10 wickets. So they had what's known as a rather big shock, much to the pleasure, of course, of everyone in this country. New Zealand also, tricky start. Just between the 2 teams, what's been happening is, although the overall in T20 internationals, it's India 6, New Zealand 8. Actually, in more recent history, it's been India who've been winning these matches. So they will take comfort, I guess, and inspiration from the fact that in the more recent memories, they are the side beating New Zealand.
Yes, and the recent record, even though we are talking about not the records, we are talking about what happens on the present day, but the conditions in UAE also put India in a little bit of a favourable position. But even saying that, I think New Zealand is a complete side.
Indeed.
They have got all that they need in the bowling department, all that they need in the batting department, and a very good captain at the top.
Okay, talking of captains, why don't you start the discussion on Virat Kohli, who has the pressure of having lost that first game to Pakistan, has the pressure, as you say, of playing his last World T20, and having announced the fact that he's not going to captain the side after this in T20s only, then obviously he would love, and they would love him to go out on a winning note, but he's got a bit of work to do.
और राशिद भी सिर्फ एक चीज़ ऐड करूँगी कि विराट कोहली ही वो वाहिद कैप्टन है जो आईसीसी टूर्नामेंट्स में पाकिस्तान से हारे हैं, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी का फाइनल भी और ये मैच भी, तो कितना प्रेशर आप समझते हैं?
कल रात का जो मैच हुआ है इंग्लैंड और ऑस्ट्रेलिया का, वो टॉस बहुत मैटर कर रहा है इस इवेंट में, स्पेशली इन दुबई बहुत ज़्यादा. तो अभी कल हमने अपना फेवरेट चेंज करके हम इंग्लैंड को हॉट फेवरेट कर दिया, लेकिन इंग्लैंड पाकिस्तान 2 ऐसी टीमें जिन्होंने तीनों दफ़ा चेस किया है. अभी टूर्नामेंट स्टार्ट हुआ, मिडिल में है, लेकिन अभी 2-3 टॉस के ऊपर अगर मैच फैसले और हो गए ना, तो होगा यही कि हम अपने फेवरेट चेंज करेंगे, क्योंकि ये वाहिद टूर्नामेंट लग रहा है PSL की तरह कि सेकंड बैटिंग ज़्यादा डोमिनेट कर रही है. तो आज के मैच में भी देखें, फेवरेट नो डाउट इंडिया है, लेकिन टॉस अगर हार गए तो न्यूजीलैंड 80% मैच जीत सकने की सलाहियत रखती है. इसी तरह हम टूर्नामेंट में आगे जाते जाएंगे, यही सूरत हाल रही तो फिर प्रिडिक्ट करना हमारे लिए भी आसान हो गया. टॉस जीतो, मैच जीतो. अफगानिस्तान ने थोड़ी सी ब्लंडर की अपनी स्ट्रेंथ के ऊपर, उन्होंने टॉस जीत के खुद बैटिंग की. अदरवाइज यहाँ पे मोस्टली जितना भी क्रंच वाला मैच हो, पाकिस्तान इंडिया का आपने मैच देख लिया, इससे बड़ा मैच हुआ नहीं पूरे साल में. उसके बाद सेकंड जो बड़ा मैच था लास्ट नाइट था इंग्लैंड एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया, तो टोटली टॉस के ऊपर हो रहा है. ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए इतने बड़े इवेंट में.
बिल्कुल, इस पे बिल्कुल मैं एग्री करती हूँ और शार्दुल ठाकुर बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त फॉर्म में इंडिया की तरफ से नज़र आए हैं, पर पिछला मैच बहुत लोगों को सरप्राइज हुआ वो नहीं खेले. आपको लगता है वो एक चेंज इंडिया इस्तीफा करेगा इस मैच के लिए?
मे बी जिस तरह उसकी फॉर्म लगी है इंग्लैंड सीरीज से, तो एक चांस है मे बी कि वो चेंज हो जाए, लेकिन आप देखना होगा कि वो किसी जगह एक ही स्पॉट खाली नजर आ सकता है कि भुवनेश्वर कुमार की जगह वो आ सकता है. तो आई थिंक चांसेस तो है, लेट्स सी क्या होता है. लेकिन आई थिंक जो न्यूज़ आ रही है कि हार्दिक पांड्या ने बॉलिंग वगैरह शुरू की है, तो आई थिंक इससे इंडियन जो बॉलिंग है उसमें काफ़ी एक तो डेप्थ आ जाएगी, क्योंकि अगर आप देखें ना तो लास्ट मैच में उनका जो स्ट्राइक बॉलर है बुमराह, उसके ओवर जो ना अर्ली ख़त्म किए, क्योंकि उनके पास कोई दूसरा ऐसा बॉलर नहीं था. वो जो है चक्रवर्ती, उसको भी इंट्रोड्यूस किया, लेकिन ये है कि उनके एंड के. लेकिन अगर जिस तरह मैंने कहा कि अगर वो बॉल करता है पांड्या, तो एटलीस्ट उनके पास ये चांस होगा कि आप जो ना उनके जो है चक्रवर्ती को आप अर्ली ऑन एज अ मिस्ट्री बॉलर आप यूज कर सकते हो. और लेटर ऑन डेप्थ ओवर में जो ना आपके पास चांसेस है, विराट कोहली के पास चांस होंगे कि वो बुमराह को यूज कर सके. और जहां तक राशिद भाई ने बात की टॉस की, तो आई थिंक जिस तरह की कंडीशन है इस साल जो ना इस साल टीम बैटिंग सेकंड वन 14 आउट ऑफ 18 इन दुबई दिस ईयर. तो आई थिंक टॉस का भी बड़ा वो है एडवांटेज है कि टॉस जीत के ना वो बॉलिंग फर्स्ट करेंगे.
So there are two key points. One is that the matches are now very heavily dependent on toss, which should not be the matter in a World Cup event like World Cup. That's Rashid Bhai's point. And what Omar is saying, that because Hardik there's a news that he's bowling in the nets again. So that will give Virat Kohli an extra option of using his bowlers a bit better.
Okay, just a quick question. I'm guessing, excuse me, I'm guessing that the pitch they're going to use today is likely to be the same pitch that they used for Australia against England. So that early greenness might have gone now, and certainly the second half of the game yesterday, it looked a very good pitch. So if that pitch is in good nick today, it could be at least a pitch for runs, for good runs, whether you bat first or second.
I think, look, what we so far seen Indian loss to Pakistan, it was like outstanding spell of new bowling by Shaheen Shah Afridi. If you take 2 wickets in 1 over, any team can go under intense pressure. The Indian worry should be their bowling. Apart from Bumrah, there is no big threat. Jadeja is not a bowler you should be worrying about what's coming and which way is going to go. It's going to go one way. Okay? He's using his experience, otherwise there is nothing there. Chakravarti is a bowler who can trouble, especially New Zealander. If you compare both batting, Indian batting is so far away, better than. They have like young mixture of players. Guptill, Williamson, Neesham, Conway. There's no like the impact batsmen in there, which the other team should look at. Oh my God, he's coming. Conway.
Maybe,
But-
yeah.
And New Zealand T20 team is not rocking. It's just a good team. In one day, as in test matches, they won the Test championship, but in T20 cricket, they are good team, but not 1, 2, 3.
In this condition.
In these conditions, especially,
Yeah,
we
sure.
saw the other day Australians struggling against spin. So I think India is a far better team than New Zealand.
What about toss?
The toss, it's all depends. I mean, look, Rohit Sharma, Rahul, Kohli, Rishabh Pant, Surya Kumar, Pandya,
Ishan Kishan.
Ishan Kishan,
Really playing today.
they have like a solid batting. The other day, which we saw, it's not happening every day.
Well, I mean, you're right.
But the New Zealander should use Bolt at the top. That same memory, somebody is running in, bowling the same ball, so he'll be bit careful.
I am guessing that Kane Williamson would have had the same thought.
Should be.
Let's put it this way: if Kane has not had that thought, then someone else needs to take over the captaincy of New Zealand, because if they've got one memory in their minds, India, it is of those first few balls from Shaheen Shah Afridi.
You know,
which did all the
because
damage those
against Pakistan, they started with Santner and not with
not with Bolt, no,
not with Bolt.
No.
So that's maybe.
I think both teams are pretty balanced, in my opinion. When you look at maybe the bowling attack for New Zealand, I think they have individuals, who can really upset the top order for India. Having said that, if it's a good track, I personally believe India, with its substance, Rohit at the top of the order and KL Rahul, they're good players. When you look at the batters comes Pant, I think he's a class act. Jadeja. When you look overall, in a sense, I think the Indian batting may just take the edge.
Indeed.
But
indeed.
one should never, ever,
Well-
for the years, what we have seen of New Zealand, should never, ever underrate New Zealand.
Yeah. In terms of what India did in that first match, I mean, quite rightly, we remember that Pakistan put them in trouble straight away. So two of those very, very fine batsmen were out of the equation in the first over, pretty much. It left the pressure then on Virat Kohli, both as captain and as master batsman, to try and recover the situation.
Yes, and we talked about the pressure Virat Kohli is already under, because he has given up the captaincy. This is after this tour. He has lost to Pakistan in Champions Trophy as a captain, so that's added pressure, because not many Indian captains have done that. But even after this, he played an innings like that under pressure.
And that shot, I can say, that shot early on was an indicator of the impression he was trying to give
to-
Pakistan's bowlers.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, I mean, 57 he made in the end.
He's totally a fighter, and you have to respect that, the kind of player he is, how he thrives under pressure. I think that's one of his biggest qualities, and he has instilled a great amount of fitness and professionalism in this Indian cricket team.
I'm a fan of Virat Kohli. I've said that on numerous occasions. I believe he's still yet to get going. And because of his tenaciousness as well, I just believe that this individual, there's lots more to come before he gives up this captaincy, and he's looking to achieve things here at present. So at least when he hands it over, that it's in good hands.
Let's just have a look at this then, just to see where of those 57 runs, where they all came. Quite strong. He is strong, as we know. He's a strong all-round player, but strong on the onside on the day. I mean, the sixes, the 1-6, is it 1 or 2 sixes tends to be long on that sort of area.
राशिद भाई कुछ आप बताएंगे इसमें?
इसका जो वीकर एरिया है ना, वो पॉइंट एरिया है, गली पॉइंट पे ही कम शॉट मारता है, जिसकी वजह से इसका स्ट्राइक रेट है T20 में वो निस्बतन कम है, स्ट्रगल करता है कभी कभार जब नहीं आता है. ये भी डिपेंड करता है उसके ऊपर, रोहित शर्मा, KL राहुल पे, कि अच्छी पार्टनरशिप लगती है, 5-6 ओवर गुजर जाते हैं तो फिर ये डेंजरस हो जाता है. अर्ली ऑन जैसे पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ आ गया तो उसको सर्वाइव करना पड़ता है सर्कल, तो 6 ओवर अगर सर्वाइव करेगा तो मैच हाथ से निकलता जाता है. एक्सक्यूज मी. तो ये एक वजह है जो कि इसको एक सपोर्ट चाहिए ऊपर से, चाहे वो उसकी सूरत में हो, KL राहुल की सूरत में हो या रोहित शर्मा, इन दोनों का तीनों का परफॉर्म करना इंडिया के लिए ज़रूरी है. अगर हम देखें 70% इंडिया जब जीतता है जब ये तीनों परफॉर्म करते हैं, 1, 2, 3, चाहे वो ODI हो चाहे वो T20 हो. तो इंडिया पूरी डिपेंड करती है वाइट बॉल क्रिकेट में 3 प्लेयर्स पे, विराट कोहली, KL राहुल एंड रोहित शर्मा.
अच्छा, एक और चीज जो मैं I want to mention, the aura of a player, like, we mixed up IPL into international cricket. Indian performance in international level is not that great, isn't it? Last two champions are West Indians. Then even now they're number 3 in T20. So we just mixed up the aura of PSL. Oh God, Rahul, KL Rahul is great. He's there, but he's not that there. Surya Kumar, Jadeja,
Just to be clear,
Jadeja,
hang on.
Rishabh Pant.
Where is he? Is he here? Is he here? Is he?
But
Where
he's
is?
not number one. He's not Babar Azam. There's no Babar Azam.
Okay.
So if you talk to anyone, it's, oh God, they have great players like Rishabh Pant and Rahul and Surya Kumar and Jadeja. They're good players, but they are not superstars.
Okay.
It's a more of a hype than the reality.
No, good point. Where's Rohit? Is Rohit here or is he where?
Rohit is there.
He's there.
Rohit and Kohli are true superstars.
Yeah.
Others are just good players.
Impact player.
Impact players, but
Rishabh
out
Pant.
because most of the time we watch IPL because they made us watch IPL.
Are you allowed
and
to watch
make-
IPL? Just so
I don't want to watch IPL. I want to see PSL because PSL is a true test of a batsman. It's a, when you play in India, it's a paradise. Like man, like this, anybody can bat. What happened this
Okay,
time?
I'm going to come out of retirement.
Yes, you can. Still, you can still be a very effective batsman in India. So what happened this time? IPL in UAE. What is the average score? 135, 134. The PSL conditions.
Yeah.
Bowlers, fast bowlers are the number one in the world.
You reckon? PSL?
Yes, the fast bowling,
Yeah, I think
Fast bowling.
you have some very good, talented individuals.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And the pitches are challenging. Why everyone is struggling? Why the top teams are making
fine. You mentioned pitches,
135,
plus.
less than
So
So you
140?
can say Rohit and Virat, they are the true match winners.
And that's all you need.
Yeah.
And you have the support cast. What else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you have too many superstars, too many chefs in the kitchen, sometimes
In
you're
a
going to
very,
get...
very big pot. Okay. Okay, leave it there for a moment. Let's keep the passion going. I love this passion. Just remember, there are two games going on today. One of them is happening in just under an hour's time, 50 minutes' time. So let's go to Abu Dhabi for the pitch report.
Welcome back to the Zayed Cricket Stadium, where the contest is between Afghanistan and Namibia. Normally, as a captain, you come to the ground, you have a look at the wicket. Then you look at the dimensions of the ground. Where would you want your bowlers to make the batters hit? The straight boundaries are normally bigger here, but it's the square boundaries with the breeze factor. One side is 66 meters, another side is 72 meters. Afghanistan rely heavily on the spinners, but pacers have taken the most wickets here. We know they have quality. To tell you more about it is Ian Bishop.
Thank you very much, Darren. Yeah, just a closer look at the pitch. There is some lowly cut grass along the outside of it, both sides of the pitch. I don't think it'll be too much of a factor. Trumpelon, who likes to swing the ball, may get something here with a new ball, but it's more about Mujib, as Darren talked about, and Rashid Khan. Now, when Namibia played against Sri Lanka, when Indu Hasaranga bowled straight, he got some reward for bowling straight at them. Today, Rashid Khan, outstanding, perhaps the best in the world with that fizzing googly bowl straight at the stumps to right-handers. He gets a lot of LBWs and a lot of bowl downs because, one, his pace, his length, and his line. So that's a battle for Namibia today, and he very rarely moves from that sort of line here in this T20 World Cup. This beehive exemplifies that. So that's going to be a critical battle in this contest. It's not the only battle. The seamers will have their say, but it's Rashid and that spin that could be a key outcome.